Okay, you're going to be using Adobe Audition to do your podcast. You're going to have to do your podcast in segments and then put it together. So the first thing you're going to do is record the first part of your podcast. So you'll come down here to the record button and click that, and I will begin recording. First you name it. So I'm going to name this Podcast 1. And now when I talk, it is recording. So then when you're finished, you click the stop button. And then you are going to save this into, I would make a folder that says podcast and then save your pieces into that so that you can combine them. So it's named Podcast 1. I already have this in the folder I want, but I'm going to click Browse and make for sure. Okay, yes, it's in my podcast sample, so I've named this Podcast 1, and I go Save, and then I say OK, and it is saved. So, and then you're going to import the video that you recorded. So I'm going to go File, Import, File, and I'm going to find the interview file right here. And that will open up here. And then I'm going to record the ending of my podcast. New audio file. I'm going to name this Podcast 2. I'll name it Podcast 3 because it comes after the interview. I say OK. Alright, so this is going to be the ending of my podcast. However many segments you have, you will have to record separately. And then I close it. And now I want to create a multi-track so that I can mix them all down. File, New, Multi-track section. And this is going to be my final podcast. Say OK. OK. And I'm waiting for it to open up. Okay, good. So I'm going to take Podcast 1 that I created, and I'm going to put it on the first track. And then my interview comes after that, so I'm going to put it after that. And then I'm going to go all the way to the end. And I'm going to put the Podcast 3 after that. So I have built it up so it's got me speaking at the beginning, and then the interview, and then me speaking at the end. And now I'm going to save this as my final podcast. So I'm going to go File. First, save it. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to save it. Export. Multi-track mix down. Entire session. And then it's called Final Podcast. It's going, I'm going to put it into my folder that I want it in. It's named Final Podcast Mixdown. It's being saved as, I want to save it as an MP3 file. So I'm going to go Save. Say OK, and it is exporting, and that is how you create your podcast.